Hello, hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday. I am Radiance Harris, founder and managing attorney of Radiance IP Law. I help emerging businesses protect, monetize, and grow profitable brands with trademarks. And today we're going to be talking about the wow factor in the whole client experience. How can you give them that wow factor? We have the wonderful Wendy Nicole Anderson, who will be talking with us today about that very topic. She is known as the systems queen. So I'm so excited to have her. And just if you are watching live, be sure to say hello in the comments. Let us know where you are watching from. If you're watching the replay, be sure to drop the hashtag replay so that we know that you've watched and let us know what nugget really spoke to you. All right, so let's get to it. Hello, Wendy, and welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, guys. How are you?
I am doing wonderful. So please tell our audience more about yourself, what you do, and who you serve.
So I am Wendy Nicole Anderson. I have pegged myself as a business system strategist. I live here in the heart of Atlanta, Georgia, with my two tiny humans, Noah and Jeremiah. I teach service-based entrepreneurs how to streamline and automate their business systems so they can escape burnout, work with the right clients, increase their profits, and save time. My job is to help you guys be a little bit more efficient as solopreneurs and help you with your day-to-day operations so you can kind of step away from that busy administrative work that you keep doing repetitively that's taking you away from working inside your zone of genius.
Absolutely. And systems are key. I know from experience, like my business changed completely when I started to actually implement systems. So I'm excited to chat with you today. So what are some key ways that business owners can streamline or improve their day-to-day operations to, be more efficient and give that wow factor?
So here's the rule of thumb I give everyone. We are all consumers. We all have an expectation when we make a purchase. It doesn't matter if we're going down to the local Target, if we are buying a $10 lip gloss, if we are making a $10,000 purchase. We all have an expectation. Normally when clients are looking to do business with you, especially a service-based business, they're looking for you to guide them. And it's really a plus when a client comes to you. A lot of times clients know what outcome they want to accomplish, but they don't really know what the action steps look like to get there. So it's a great idea to start thinking about asking them questions, putting intake forms in place, giving the client an opportunity to go ahead and schedule with you online so that you eliminate the back and forth. But everything that your client does with you in the online space or in business general needs to set the expectation for the professional relationship. So if people are coming to think about working with me, they're going to click my scheduler. It's going to identify who I am, what I do, who I serve, how and why. It's going to also help them to identify if they're in the right place and if I can potentially help them with whatever goals they have. They'll answer a couple of questions because those are things that I need to know so that I can determine if I have something inside of my arsenal that can help them. Once they make the appointment, it doesn't stop there. You want to think about what conversations do you need to have in place to start nurturing the client. You want to give them enough information to make an informed decision. And even if they're waiting to talk to you, to hire you, you want to be able to send out case studies, clients' wins. You want to walk the client through your framework so that they'll know exactly how you can work with them. You want to do some soft ask, some call to actions. They're there, they're interested. Why not go ahead and ask for the sale? Once the client makes the investment to hire you, you need to have an onboarding email that goes out that sets the expectation for that particular service they paid for. You are the provider, so you are the leader. You need to tell them and give them specific directives on what to do to work with you efficiently. So if you know that you're meeting with them 4 to 5 times, then all those meeting links need to be in there. If there's a workbook, if there's pre-recorded training, everything needs to be inside of that email, because I feel like if I'm making an investment, I don't want to have to wait around and wonder, what's next. And so give it to them. I think that is the wow factor. Giving them things that they didn't ask for, that they didn't know that they need, but once they get access to it, they're like, I didn't know I needed that, but that was amazing.
Right.
So I want people to think about what that looks like for you so that you meet your clients where they're at and you don't leave any room for buyer's remorse.
So what I'm hearing from you is a lot of this could probably be automated. So once you get that feedback, once you are clear about what your expectations are, what your clients are looking for, then you can automate this process so that it is something that it seems amazing and wowy, but it's like, it's just a part of you. It's ingrained with how your day-to-day operations run.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is cool. So what are, I guess, just based on your experience, what are some small ways that people could improve their systems?
Well, I think when it comes to systems, I think I always think about service deliverables, really asking themselves, how long is it taking them to do certain projects, collaborating and talking with their clients to understand how their clients work best. I think a business that thrives is a combination of you working in your zone of genius and then you matching the energy of your clients, how they prefer to do business, and just having a conversation, taking a time or a day off to look at every facet, of your business, like what's the clog, what are things that you dislike that probably could be outsourced, what are some of the things that are taking you longer than you have projected it. But I think the key to that is a lot of people are doing business and they don't have a true process in place. Like, for instance, you're an IP attorney. You went to school, you've done it a few times, but maybe you did it a lot of times.
Yeah, right.
A lot of people, we're great at what we do, but sometimes as entrepreneurs, we're creatives and we don't want to document the process. And a lot of people come to me and they'll say, I want to have a $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 a month and all these variables. And I'm like, well, how long is it going to take you to actually service that many clients? And they don't have a clue. So the first thing is sitting down and really asking yourself, if a client comes to you for XYZ solution, what does the entire process look like? Sit down and document what every nook and cranny step that it is. And then ask yourself, what could you do to tighten it up? Because sometimes we do things with clients that are kind of busy work, not necessarily, and then going through and just cutting out the fat and then helping the client get the result a little bit faster. And that will also result in you completing projects faster and making more money. So like looking at what you're doing first to see where you are potentially dropping the ball, if at all.
I love that. So let's switch gears a little bit and tell me, at what point in your business did you trademark and why?
So I have a weird story about this. So I did it twice. So initially, when I started the trademark process, I was just doing it because I knew I had to, but I didn't have any rationale behind it. So when I went to that particular trademark attorney, I didn't know what to ask her for. She asked me for a lot of things that I wasn't really prepared to give to her. And she didn't really guide me through that process the way that it should have. And I wasn't really honestly married to the concept at the time. I was still a budding entrepreneur. So I kept paying fees, and it wasn't her fault. But, once you file, the intent to file and all those different things, if you don't do it within the time, if you miss your deadlines or if you're not able to move forward, you have to keep spending money to save your space. So I just kind of let that go and just let that money go to waste because I wasn't in love. Fast forward to a year and a half ago, because it takes a while to get some things trademarked, and I still got some things in the mix. I've had Operation Get Shit Done and Automate to Profit for quite some time. It's who I am. It's what's ingrained in me. It's what I've been branded as. It's what excites people when they see it. And I kind of started seeing other people in the marketplace use some language that was branded to me that I've been doing for the past 5-8 years. And I was like, okay, it's time to get serious. I have been consistent in using these set of things over a significant period of time. I am now married to them. I love them. And I was like, I don't want anyone to be able to capitalize on something that was a download for me. Yeah. And so I started the process about a year and a half. I have a couple of things trademarked. And again, I'm still waiting on one, because sometimes when it comes down to trademark, how we communicate what we want trademarked to the attorneys or to the court is kind of tricky. And we're just kind of going through our due diligence right now.
Well, there are a few things you referenced there, and these are things I always tell my clients. Like, there are two things essentially that you need before you start the trademark process. You need to know have a name that you absolutely love. Like, you need to have something that you love and that you'd be pissed off if you found out someone else was using it, as you mentioned in your scenario. And the second thing is being clear about what your vision is. Like, what am I offering now? What do I plan on offering over the next 12 to 24 months? Because if you're not clear about those two things, you shouldn't start the trademark process. And so it seems like that was what you experienced.
I think that was very clear. Like, I sat down and I really asked myself, my business has grown tremendously. My children are at an age where they require more of my time. And I had to be honest about, how do I want to show up in the world? So then I sat down and I asked myself, what works best for me? What has worked best for my clients? And yes, I did map out a suite of services, because that is something that they ask you when you're trademarking, how do you plan on using this name? And it has to be in an application. So I was like, okay, I guess I'm ready to commit.
Well, good. Kudos to you for doing it and trademarking multiple things too. A lot of people don't realize you could have multiple trademarks that you are sitting on right now. So tell me, you've been in business for a few years now. You've been juggling, being a mommy, being a business owner. What's your best business advice?
Listen to your intuition. There will be a lot of advice. I think the best thing I can tell the world today is everyone has their way of doing things. If you are a branding strategist, then that strategist is going to tell you the way to your millions or your goals is to follow her process. And if you did so, it probably will work. I do automation systems and operations. So I'm going to have my own process, and I'm going to tell you, you need to do these things to reach those specific goals. But I think for me, because I've had several different mentors and they all had different learning styles and different approaches, I just kind of took what worked best for me, and I kind of picked up what I wanted and left the rest. But the biggest breakthrough that I've had over the last few years is, if it makes sense to me, I told myself it will make sense to my audience, meaning the people that I desire to be of service to. And if I showed up and I was authentic and I just connected with the people and not tried to be so fancy or high tech, that has been the most resourceful for me. People will accept you for who you are and how you show up, as long as you are professional, as long as you are ethical, as long as you are consistent. And just be honest. If you're working with a client and you feel like what you promised them is not working, you have the right to have an honest conversation and let them know, I am pivoting this strategy with you, and here's why. Most clients don't care. They just appreciate you guiding them and being honest and not wasting their time. But I would say, keep your eyes on your own paper. Trust.
Oh man, you're right about that.
Yeah, trust. Trust what's given to you. I understand that Melissa over here may be doing something amazing, but her strategy, her approach may not be the best for you. So just trust yourself.
Right.
Test out some things. Be open when you don't get the outcome you want immediately. And then be willing to pivot and shift until everything that you want lines up the way that you desire.
I hear you, girlfriend. Be true to yourself. Focus on your own goals. Be authentic, and everything else will fall in place. I love it, and I totally agree. So how can our viewers get in contact with you and stay in touch?
So you guys may go over to wendynicoleanderson.com. I'm going to look a little different over there. I got some straight hair. And you can book a complimentary session so we can just talk about your goals and see what's next for you and determine if I can help you reach your goals.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining me today. I hope you all enjoyed this episode of the Trademark Like a Boss Show. Thank you for tuning in. And thank you, Wendy, for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. All right, guys, till next week. Bye.